Hello and welcome to Ware Gaming Reacts to E3 2019. My name is Nick, and next to me is my brother Josh. Say hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
We are going to kick this off with talking about Nintendo. So, we did one for Microsoft. It's already up. You can watch that.
We're going to kick this off. Didn't we already put one up for Microsoft?
We did. We're going to kick tonight's recording off with Nintendo. We just got done watching the Direct. You can go see our thoughts on the Microsoft conference already, and then now you'll have this, and after this will be two more. One for
the third. Yeah, we're going to do third parties in general, so we'll talk about Square, Ubisoft, Bethesda's conferences as well. I think we'll add in the Destiny news that came out last Thursday
and Stadia,
and then Google Stadia, which is almost going to be another first party, but it doesn't get its own reaction.
It's not there yet.
So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But right now, we're just going to talk about Nintendo's E3 press conference.
All right. So
or Nintendo Direct. They don't do a press conference, but
right. So Nintendo did their press conference today. They're not press conference today.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to know what your expectations, if any, were going into.
I didn't have many expectations. I mean, we knew some games were coming. We knew about we were expecting Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion, a handful of other games. We figured we'd see Astral Chain again. So I wasn't really expecting more than that. We knew Metroid Prime has been rebooted. Their development's been restarted, so we weren't going to hear anything about that. Probably too early to do Metroid Prime trilogy, which I don't know if there's ever a too early for that. But it depends on the development. For 4, they want to get you hyped, but not too late, not too early.
Mm-hmm.
So, as far as me, I'm not the biggest Nintendo fanboy or anything like that.
So you're saying you're a poser wearing that hat right now?
Well, no, I love the regular Nintendo. But as far as what they're doing now, they're cute. I enjoy their games. They do some interesting things. I like the handheld and the Switch itself. I like Katana Zero. But as far as their properties, Smash Brothers is what did I say earlier? Smash Brothers and Mario.
Yeah.
But I haven't even beaten a Mario game in a long time. So Mario Odyssey I couldn't really get into. So
I did beat Mario Odyssey, but I've been in a similar boat where I've always intentionally or unintentionally treated Nintendo as like second-class citizens. I mean, not like crap, but just like, it's funny, we've always had a Nintendo console, but we never really dug deep with them.
Right.
And we even had a Wii U for a second, and then I don't even remember touching it. But like,
well, you might have been I think you were in Chicago when I got that.
Okay.
And so I got the Wii U to play Smash Brothers.
Right.
I played Smash Brothers, and I tried to play Mario 3D World, and the way the 3D World works, I just had problems getting my jumps lined up.
Right.
And it just felt bad, and everybody loved the game, and I was like, maybe it's me, but I know I have good eyesight, so it's not like that. I don't have any.
Well, and the same thing happened with Odyssey for you. Everyone loved Odyssey, and didn't. Right. But so, I've always had a console, but never really became a Nintendo guy.
For me, the peak Nintendo was N64. I loved Mario 64, Banjo Kazooie, Star Fox 64. Just a plethora of games on the N64 that I really loved. So that was where my peak was. GameCube, I kind of fell off from after that.
Right. And then I kind of bought the Switch as an impulse buy because I just spent all day watching people play Mario Tennis Aces one day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, with that combined with knowing Smash Brothers was coming, knowing all this stuff, I was like, all right, I'm going to Switch. Also because it looked cool, and I just loved the whole idea about it. So I went out and got it. I played Mario Tennis Aces for about a week, and then I was a little over it.
Sure.
And then since then, I really haven't. I keep getting games for it that I think I'm gonna like, and then I don't end up playing it. Like Moonlighter, I got, and I didn't really. It looked really cool based off the trailer, and then I played it and realized it was a roguelike that I just dungeon crawler, and it just didn't sink its teeth in me. And
West of Loathing was good.
West of Loathing was awesome.
Yeah, but I would have liked that on any
Right.
platform as far as first party goes.
Right. Well, and then Moonlighter doesn't count, but then also like Bloodstained Curse of the Moon. I realized that the like ancient Metroidvania style.
Ancient.
Well, I'm not saying that game is.
Yeah, but the old Castlevanias.
Yeah, I realized it's not for me either. I played through the first set of levels and it was fine, but we're only saying all this to kind of give you an idea of where we're going, where I was coming from. I was expecting to see, I obviously expected Smash. I know going into this, I was particularly worried or / excited, but kind of like there was this ambiguity of what's really going to happen because they had their Mario Maker 2 Direct a few weeks ago. They had the Pokemon Direct a few weeks ago. So it's like, well, what else is there? And then in my mind, that was like, that means that they're clearing as much as they can because they really want you to focus on something.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited to see what that was. And personally, you know, I didn't really feel like I got whatever that was. Mm-hmm. And that also probably attributes to what you just said is that, well, a lot of the games that we saw that are the big marquee titles don't really speak to us.
Sure.
So,
I think in general, though, if we look at all the conferences laid out, I think Nintendo's was probably the best paced. It had great pacing. It showed gameplay on almost every game they showed. You had their big titles that people are really excited about: Link's Awakening, Astral Chain. They showed Animal Crossing. They showed. What did it start with? Oh, Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
So they definitely, I think they paced it out very well, and I don't think any of the lulls were too low.
No, there was very little lulls, and
Yeah,
out of all the press conferences or showcases, this was probably the most well put together.
Even if it got on something that you didn't really care about, it didn't hang on it like Dragon Quest Builders.
Right, and they showed that, but they went away.
Yeah.
I think Dragon Quest, as great as that game probably is for the people who love it, I just was like, they're hamming it up way too much.
Yeah.
So we don't need to go through. Well, I'll go through the list, not necessarily in the way that's like we're going to deep talk about it, but
sure,
we'll talk about it. So I also want to say that, well, my biggest takeaway from it, the things that I am super excited for, I think we've said it like 3 times now, but I think the game, out of everything that I've said, I'm most excited for is Astral Chain, because it looks like what a Power Rangers game should be, but also more than that.
Yeah,
it's kind of it has a weird like Persona vibe, not in the gameplay, but like, and the I don't know I don't know. I can't say what it was. I just got a Persona vibe. Maybe it was the monster that they were holding on to. That one I'm super excited about. I'm definitely going to get. And then maybe and I'm only talking about what was announced about this conference. Ultimate Alliance, Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah, I thought this was a better showing for Ultimate Alliance. The first time we saw it, we were curious when it was announced. Where was it at?
It was announced in a general direct a few months ago.
Was it a general direct?
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought we were curious about. We were wanting.
Or was it announced at? Oh, it was announced at Game Awards.
Okay, yeah, it was Game Awards because we were wanting to see Avengers.
Right.
And so we saw the Marvel logo, and it was this game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and that showing, I think, looked very like, it looks like a mobile game.
Yeah,
it looked like an old
the Strike Force.
The Strike Force mobile game, like very jagged edges and not very polished. But people like the Ultimate Alliance games, and you can expect that that gameplay was probably fun, but it didn't look great. As far as what they showed today, I think it was a much better showing. Everything looked cleaner and it looked a lot more fun. And it showed a wide variety of some of the characters you could play as.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They also announced like DLC packs to come afterwards, like Marvel's Knights,
Yeah.
as well as X-Men and the Fantastic Four.
I think it still has some of that mobile game look.
I mean,
but I think that's just the aesthetic of the game.
It looks more like a City of Heroes now, or something, where I mean, it's not going to have the AAA like high quality, high fidelity graphics or anything, but I think as far as like maybe like Omega Force, or what was it? Was that Omega Force? There was a
the Marvel Marvel Heroes Omega.
Yeah, Marvel Heroes Omega. That kind of style. I thought that game was a little, it was kind of fun. It didn't draw me in, but
right.
So.
But yeah. So I'm just gonna run down the bullet points here, and if there's something we want to talk about, we'll talk about it. So the first thing they announced was Dragon Quest character. They just called him the Hero. Is coming to Switch this summer in 2019.
Yeah.
So a long rumored thing.
We're getting the Hero Dragon Quest along with some friends, probably as like alternate skins or whatever.
Yeah. And then that went into Dragon Quest XI, officially released on September 27th, 2019.
This is like Skyrim all over again. The game that won't go away.
Well, I mean, what I think was just most interesting is that they showed this game at Square Enix conference, but they didn't say anything about a release date or anything. It's just been everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere, 2 places, but.
Well, I feel like we've heard about Dragon Quest XI for a long time.
Well, it released last year.
Yeah.
A lot of people said it was really good, and then they talked about it coming to Switch, and then they just keep talking about maybe if it's coming to Switch.
Yeah.
So it definitely is September 27th, 2019. Also, it's a definitive edition Dragon Quest: The Elusive Age XS.
Sure.
Something like that. And then Doug Bowser came on to introduce himself to everybody, which was a fun little bit.
Yeah, he had to kick Bowser off the stage.
So there was that. That was fun.
I like that they're embracing that. I mean, I don't think there's any way they can't embrace it because, I mean, that's his name.
Right.
But I appreciated that they even it was like a Family Guy bit. They almost let it linger almost too long, which is what Family Guy does. It's like it just takes that joke and just holds it and holds it and holds it, and they did that here, and I thought that was neat and cute.
And then Luigi's Mansion 3 did not give a release date, but it is this fall.
Yeah,
it's
this
year.
2019.
And
it looks fun.
Yeah.
It looks like an updated Luigi's Mansion. He was slamming ghosts around, so that was fun.
Yeah, I think I really liked playing the first Luigi's Mansion, and
Sure.
I haven't touched it since whenever it came out.
Right.
So if there's another game on this list that I could be persuaded into buying, it would be that one.
Definitely. Luigi's Mansion. There's like co-op and online or local play.
I think you can play with 3 other people
Yeah.
and do mini games and Ghost Bust.
Yeah.
Next was Dark Crystal Tactics in association with Netflix.
And, Jim Henson's Dark Crystal series is a classic, weird, like labyrinthian style, dark.
I don't remember that
poetry.
in the Bible.
Labyrinthian.
Mm-hmm.
And this basically it's just tactics with the Dark Crystal.
Well, basically, it is Dark Crystal Tactics.
It's Dark Crystal Tactics, but Final Fantasy Tactics was a game,
Right.
and so it's taking that tactics game play and putting Dark Crystal on it.
Yeah. Doesn't do anything for me, but
Nope.
I'm hoping the people like Dark
I
Crystal.
thought that if anything was going to go on too long, it was going to be that one.
And it didn't.
It teased
It could've,
it teased it, but it didn't.
Next up, Link's Awakening is coming out September 20th, 2019, which is much sooner than I expected it to be because they just announced it a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And granted,
it's a totally new art style so it's not like using the Breath of the Wild or or even like the cell shaded one.
Wind Waker.
Wind Waker is totally new separate from that.
Yeah.
It looks like it's in a little toy box. It's very cute, but I have no affinity for Awakening. But I mean, I'm sure it'll be great, and people who love Zelda and Link's Awakening will
and
love
there's
it.
a section of it where you'll be able to build your own dungeons and play through them. So that
I thought
seems
that was
like a good replayability.
I thought that was neat. You could just I guess they had like a menu of different like styles of rooms that you could just like put together and then go run the room.
The only thing, and this is my problem now after playing, it all started with a game called The Binding of Isaac, and then playing Moonlighter, and then looking at that. Maybe not all dungeon crawlers are the same, but Binding of Isaac did it. But I was enjoying it for a while, and then Moonlighter did it. I never really got that idea where you just run through endlessly, what does it call it? Randomly generated, procedurally generated dungeons. That if you die, like in Moonlighter, if you die, you got to go all the way out to the entrance of the dungeon and go down again. Yeah. I did not enjoy that. And Binding of Isaac was similar to that. Now this may not have that particular mechanic in there, but just seeing the rooms and the 4 doors, I was like, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out. Which sucks because I've always wanted to really get my hands on a Zelda game that, like, I'm old enough to appreciate. Whereas, like, because Twilight Princess, I got stuck at one point and I'm like, I'm not getting past this.
Yeah.
But anyway, next up, Trials of Mana is coming out. Trials of Mana. Coming out early 2020, and there's which I thought looked kind of neat. It gave me kind of the same reason why I'm somewhat interested in the Tales of Arise. I don't know what about it, but it kind of looks neat. And then available today, or the day of the press conference, on Switch, you can get a collection called the Collection of Mana, which features Final Fantasy Adventures, Secret of Mana, and the original Trials of Mana.
Yeah, it's all the original versions of those games. You can get a little collector's edition of those.
And then maybe even the other biggest news of the press conference is The Witcher 3 Complete Edition is officially coming to the Switch this year.
There's almost no excuse for any game not to come to the Switch anymore. That game is enormous, and
yeah, and then it came out on the PS4.
And it came out on the PS4, and it looked pretty.
Yeah,
like it was a beautiful game.
Yeah,
I mean Fallout 4 was a big game, but it wasn't necessarily the most beautiful game.
And they still haven't put that on Switch.
I thought they put that on Switch. Oh, what am I thinking? Skyrim, which was the PS3 game. So
yeah, well, but they also put Wolfenstein and other games on Switch. Right. Doom. So,
but they aren't the massive open world that Witcher is.
Right. And so the thing is, I just bought The Witcher 3, not
just
a few months ago, like at the beginning of the year, with the intention of playing it as you do when you buy a game. And I maybe went through the intermission, but no, it was last fall.
It was in the fall because you bought it right before Spider-Man.
No, it was right before Red Dead.
Red Dead, yeah.
It was a week before Red Dead.
Why did you do that? We're about to be in Red Dead forever.
So I haven't touched it.
And he hasn't beaten Red Dead either. So
no, whatever. It's the complete edition, so it comes with all the DLC and all the additional DLC. So be excited for that. Next, Fire Emblem Three Houses, which might be another one people really cared about because I've heard it's been a rumor or been in development for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. It's coming out September 26th. No, that's July 26th, 19.
Cool.
And then there was this weird Resident Evil trailer thing going on.
Yeah, it was not a good trailer.
It was like...
And I couldn't even tell what the games they were playing.
So it was weird because...
They did... Sorry, go ahead.
Only because after the watch-along, there was... they talked about it, too. There was a... So the trailer was 2 kids going to, a creepy-looking house, playing with their Switch and playing the original Resident Evil. But the thing is, the original Resident Evil was already on the Switch. But they were playing that, and then at the very end of this, they announced that it was Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6 that are coming to Switch. So not even
the one they were showing being played, and they only showed that Resident Evil 5 and 6. They only showed that splash screen on for 0.3 seconds before I was like, what were they playing?
Yeah.
Or what is this for?
Very odd trailer. But if you're into Resident Evil, there you go. After that, No More Heroes 3 comes out in 2020.
Cool.
Contra Rogue Core comes September 24th.
That game looked like garbage.
It was
hot garbage.
Terrible. Nothing about it. As soon as it came in, I was
wasn't even I was like, is this supposed to be a direct port of an N64 game or a PS2 game? It just looks bad.
Yeah, and it looked like nothing good to say about that.
Yeah. There's a Contra collection.
It wasn't even good enough for Switch.
No. It looks bad.
Yeah.
There was a Contra collection, which Contra games are very popular, and I'm sure something in the collection is great. But that game, I would stay far away from.
So don't play Contra Rogue Core, but maybe the Contra collection that also came out the day of the Direct is available. And if there's a Contra game that you're near to your heart, go check it out. Now I wasn't sure if, like Collection of Mana, if you just buy the games individually or if you buy the collection and it has all the games. It wasn't specific.
I mean, if I buy a collection, I assume it would have a bunch of games.
Well, it was just saying the collection is coming to Switch, but it didn't necessarily say that you're buying a collection. You're just saying all the games in the collection.
I see what you're saying.
So it was ambiguous to me if it was all the collection is coming.
I imagine.
Or the collection.
It's a collection that you would buy, and it's all the games.
After that, a Daemon Ex Machina comes out September 13th. I played there was a demo of it available for a while, probably still is, when it was first announced, I think at the Game Awards. And it was a mech battle suit flying around. It somewhat reminded me of Freedom Wars in the style and what you had to do. It was mainly just you go to this mission screen, select it, and then you fly around in your mech suit shooting bad guys.
Yeah.
But I didn't really tell what the story was doing, and I didn't like the mechanics, and it was glitchy, and it was a demo for sure, but nothing about it really bugged me. But
sure,
you might like it. After that, Panzer Dragoon, if you already know what that is, I didn't. An on-rails dragon shooter, looked like Star Fox, comes this winter.
Yep.
Then they brought up Pokemon, which they had already talked about last week, but they were just mentioning that you can use the Pokeball Plus, not to play the game, but you can take a Pokemon out of the game and walk with it.
And you can torment it by shaking the ball.
Yeah. So any of the games in Pokemon, Sword and Shield, any of the Pokemon you get in them, you can take them out and go on a walk.
Yep.
I don't know if it helps you in the game at all, but also, not that it matters to most of you, but Sword and Shield is playable at E3.
Yeah.
Astral Chain comes out August 30th, which is much sooner than I expected, given what I...
Yep. This is a Platinum Games game from the guys that... from Platinum. The guys who did Bayonetta and all the Bayonetta games, and they did a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But the Bayonetta games are very, enjoyed by many.
Yeah. And so we'll see if that looks good. I hope it's good. I'd like there to be another demo, like the Daemon X one.
I'd have to play it. I mean, it looks interesting. I don't know if it's my kind of game.
No?
I don't know. I'll have to play it.
Mm-hmm. It does give. I guess
I can't explain what's not about it.
I mean, it kind of has like a Devil May Cry, actiony. I mean
that's Platinum Games, but
so I don't know. I'm excited for it, and I'll let you know how I feel about it later. Empire of Sin comes out in 2020.
Cool. It's a gangster, mobster game. There's like a isometric style, top down, very well, visually a very, very good looking game.
Yeah.
Didn't really give us much details about it other than that. Some basic gameplay,
What it made it look like was a twin stick shooter.
Yeah.
But I heard later that it's actually a strategy game.
Like a Go?
No, more like Alien Isolation. Or Mario Rabbids.
Oh, okay.
Like
an XCOM.
Yeah, I meant to say XCOM when I said Alien Isolation.
I was going to say Alien Isolation was not that kind of game, but I got you now.
But yeah, I mean, it looked really cool. I love the vibe, gangsters, and the 40s or whatever. A lot of people thought it was going to be Mafia, or like Mafia City, because it showed like mechanics of like a SimCity sort of thing.
Sure.
But that's going to be in early 2020, so it says. And then they announced that Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 comes out on, that's July 19th.
No, July 2019, is that?
No, July 19th, 2019.
Okay.
I think that's the right date. I'll look it up.
I got it.
Okay.
You talk.
I can talk. And we've already said our impressions on that. After that, Cadence of Hyrule comes out this Thursday, June 13th. And, I mean, I love the idea of the game, but I'll probably never play it. It's, you beat up people to the beat of the game. And when I watch the little thing, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'd love to do that because I love
July
music.
19th.
July 19th, great. But Cadence of Hyrule, I mean, apparently Crypt of the Necrodancer is similar, and I love the idea of fighting people to a rhythm, but I probably won't play it.
No.
It's one of those games that, like Moonlighter, I'll be like, oh, I'll be down for this, and then I never play it. Then they are bringing back Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, the Tokyo Olympics, this November. It looks like an improved version of the original game that I never played. It looks like Mario Party and mini games. So if you're into it, you're into it. And finally, there's quite a bit more. But the last real big hitter was Animal Crossing New Horizons is coming out March 20th, 2020, which is much later than fans seem to expect it. But they addressed that in the direct, saying, we know you wanted it now, but we also want you to have a good game, which is the whole reason of delays. So, and then they did a sizzle reel of Animal Crossing is another game, doesn't mean anything to us. So if you're upset why we just glossed over that, that would be why. And then just a quick rundown of the sizzle reel that they came up with. Ni no Kuni, the remastered's coming out September 20th.
I'm kind of excited about that, but I guess I would assume that means it's also coming to PS4.
It is,
and that's where I'll play it. If I play it, it's a huge game. But if you like Pokemon and you like Studio Ghibli films, like Princess Mononoke or Howl's Moving Castle, you want to play this game. It's a very beautiful, very charming game. But it's long. It's a long JRPG. In the style of Pokemon, you find these creatures and you can capture them and then use them in battle. But it's more of an active. It's not so turn-based. It's more of an active time battle.
I never really played it, so I can't speak to it. Minecraft Dungeon, I didn't get a release date for that, unless they said it during spring 2020. Spyro, the Spyro trilogy is coming on September 30th.
September 3rd.
Oh, even better. Which is one of those is like, now do I get it on Switch or do I get it on? We still haven't bought Crash, so I'll wait.
We're gonna get Crash Team Racing before we get either of those, but
Elder Scrolls Blades coming this fall whenever the Blades officially releases. You can get it now on iOS. I think it's an alpha or beta, or early access or whatever. I downloaded it the other day just to play. I don't hate it, but I don't think I'm going to get into it.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with it, but I didn't really give it much of a chance. As soon as I was like, you have to do this weird tap and then let go and tap and then let go, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, that's not how I play. You play a phone game. It's just either tap, swipe, something, but like I don't have time to. When you're playing a phone game, you're not like trying to be in depth and
right. So, Sinking City, which is an interesting looking horror thriller game. Yeah. They showed that. I think they said fall. I don't think they gave a specific date. Doom Eternal coming to Switch. Day and date. Well, they didn't say day and date, but it said coming soon, seemingly with the release of Doom Eternal.
Okay.
So it didn't necessarily say day and date, but I'm assuming it will be. Dead by Daylight. I didn't get a release date for that.
September 24th.
September 24th. Great. Dragon Quest Builders. I put DQ Builders, which sounds much more exciting. Dairy Queen Builders. I would play that game.
Oh, sidebar. I went to McDonald's today.
That's not Dairy Queen.
Not Dairy Queen, but they have Stroop Waffle McFlurry. They have this right now. They're doing this this international menu where they have we sell this in like Spain and we sell this in Britain or the Netherlands, and they have a Stroop Waffle McFlurry.
Did you get it?
I did, and it was excellent.
Was it?
It was good.
I guess I know I'm eating later. Do you know what a Stroop Waffle is? I didn't.
Look it up. and yes.
It's like a little cracker that looks like a waffle, but tastes like magic. Stranger Things, the game. Stranger Things Season 3, the game's coming July 4th. Hail America. Catan, Settlers of Catan, is coming to the Switch on June 20th. I don't know if I'll get it. I mean, I've played Catan once.
Yeah, I played Catan once. It was fun.
Yeah. If I'm going to play a city builder, I'll just play a city builder. City Skylines. Which is also on Switch.
Really?
Yeah. Super Lucky Tales. I didn't get released.
Super Lucky's Tale.
Okay, Super Lucky's Tale, which is the
Fall
Xbox
2019.
platformer. It's coming to Switch on fall 2019. And then Dauntless, the recently announced free-to-play Monster Hunter-esque games coming to Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wolfenstein Youngblood will be coming July 26th, which I believe is also the date of the PS4 and Xbox release as well.
Okay.
And then they decided, you know what? We announced with Smash. We'll end with Smash.
The big announcement, the one everybody's been waiting for.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie is coming to Smash. They did a nice little fake-out tease at the beginning where they had.
It got me when I first watched it. I was like, "Oh, that sucks."
There's no way they would actually do that. And
I don't know. At this point,
but it went into Donkey Kong's like home or whatever. It had Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong and King K. Rool, and we're like, okay, this is all Rare. This is what we want. Let's do it. And then they had the shadow on the wall of a bear shape and a bird, and then lightning struck, and it was just Duck Hunt Dog and the duck. And then they like had the Duck Hunt Dog laughing like he does, and then Banjo-Kazooie comes out of the sky and kicks him in the face, which is satisfying because Donkey Kong, Duck Hunt Dog sucks.
Yeah. And the gameplay with him looked pretty neat, using his bird, or I guess Kazooie, to...
It's not his bird, they're friends.
Whatever.
He lives in the backpack.
So it's his, the backpack that Banjo owns.
Whose backpack is it? Is it Kazooie's or Banjo? Maybe he's making Banjo carry him.
Who knows? It's been a while. I was kind of hoping it was going to go into a Banjo remastered, but they didn't have
too much to ask for.
Well,
things I wanted to see that I haven't seen.
Wait, hold on. And then that was the last. Well, I'll say that was the last big announcement, but actually, the last big announcement was the Legend of Zelda. Breath of the Wild is getting a direct sequel in development.
Which means
who knows? But I didn't know about this until, or I didn't really think about this until researching what other people were saying online. But apparently, like, this is one of the first times they've made a direct sequel to a Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah.
Which I guess it never really clicked in my head that none of the games are really sequels. They're just like rebranding of what, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the same for like Mario games.
That's true.
I don't think anything's necessarily a sequel. It's just like the same thing happening over and over again. It's almost like Groundhog Day of the game.
Right.
Excuse me.
But I mean, again, we didn't play Breath of the Wild. It's one of those that I wanna like, and then I just know that I'll get it, and they'll never touch it. Like,
yeah,
Witcher. And I already have my Zelda, and it's.
I think I don't even know specifically, but I was gonna say the direct sequel was Majora's Mask a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time.
We'll find out.
I don't know, but I know it was like built off the same assets and things like that, and that was one of the few times that was.
Regarding, this is from IGN, from a message board, so they could be lying.
Yes.
It says, regarding direct sequels, yes, Majora's Mask is a direct sequel to Ocarina of Time, as you're playing the same Link from the previous game. In this case, the child Link from Ocarina of Time that Zelda sends back in time at the beginning of the game.
Cool.
Means nothing to me, but...
So, I mean, and this kind of had a Majora's Mask dark theme vibe to it, so it kind of seems That's kind of what they're leaning towards with this sequel. But I don't think we'll see anything from this in another. This is a end of 2020, 21 game.
2021 for sure.
So.
And then that's the show.
Yep. The only thing I was wanting to see was more Xbox collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see kind of what Xbox Live on the Switch was going to look like.
Game Pass or something.
Have they officially announced Ori was coming?
No, they haven't.
I want to see Ori come because that's where I want to play it. It just seems perfect for if the D-pad was good, but for the Switch.
Yeah.
So.
And another thing, I should have said this in my anticipation section at the beginning, but one thing I was really hoping for, and I said this to you, when we were watching one of the conferences, is that the thing about Nintendo, we'll get into this later, but we've been kind of let down by some of the conferences.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, right now we're in this transition period between generations that most things aren't ready to be shown. But Nintendo isn't in that spot. Nintendo, maybe they'll come out with a update to the Switch, but they're not making a sequel right now.
Yeah.
So I expected bigger hitters, and also they announced, I think 2 Game Awards ago, Bayonetta 3. And
we don't have Bayonetta 3 yet. No.
So there was the Bayonetta collection. But
sure.
Similarly to, Metroid Prime collection.
So we're going to get Astral Chain before we get Bayonetta 3. And Astral Chain was announced 6 months ago.
Right. So granted, maybe the different scale of games, different teams or whatever. I'm not really throwing shade that way, other than did they just forget about the game, or did they decide we didn't need it anymore, or what? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all our thoughts on the Nintendo E3 Direct. What were your thoughts? You can put them in the comments below. You can tweet to us at WareGaming_.
Yep.
And then stay tuned for our later reactions to the third parties in general, and then we'll do an overall E3 impressions. So.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.